I never noticed what it was before. When you start building it, if you've built before, you know exactly what this is. So there's a standoff right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, 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 and here. That's a standard. You know, some might have an extra one right here, which they have a hole, but they don't have a standoff. That's where the extra standoff came from. Right here typically is another standard. If anything, you can always take that one off. But right here is not a typical standoff. Instead, it looks like a standoff reversed. So the part that you screw in is sticking out. Why would they have done that? If you've built a ton of computers like I have, you'll know you have to have two hands, one to hold the board, one to screw in, and it can get really annoying. This method, again, we're aligning the I/O shield with the board, all that good stuff. Alright, so now I can let go. Why? Let me zoom in on that for you. There are no screws in there. No extra standoffs. I have never seen this before. Maybe you have. That standoff is right there. That's holding the whole board in place right now. So your hands are free to pretty much do whatever else you want. So you can focus on every other screw. Let's get back to the video. We have that done, again, because of Corsair thinking about stuff. That I'm really impressed by that. Now, we'll go ahead and screw this guy in. I'm just amazed. That just makes things so much easier. I like to go from corner to corner. Now you make sure these screws are tight, but don't over tighten them because you can crack the board. One hand to hold the screwdriver, one hand to turn it. I don't need to hold the board. And we have two extras. Again, this would probably be for one right here if the board had a hole there. I'm not going to get to the cabling just yet. I always save that for last. Now we'll get to the optical real quick. We'll take this off. Put this down for now. Taking off the backside panel, which I should have done earlier, but I forgot. I have all my cables and the boxes on this side. I didn't think I'd go over there, so you wouldn't have to see the mess, but it's there. Little latches holding these guys in. Nothing big, just inside the case these are sticking out. Put them out. So, and I'll show you how that works. So you can see right here, pull that out. And there's one on the other side as well. There you go. Again, right there. So now that those two are open, I'm going to grab my opticals. Slide them in, they lock in place. Now, these little guys right here, the fact that they're sticking out like that, that means that it's locked in place. Now, if I wanted to take out this drive, I would push this in. Now I can just slide it. This bottom one, since this tab is still sticking out, I can push as hard as I want. It's not coming out. If I push it in and push it out, there it comes right out. So, snap, snap. There are 4 screw holes here. This is mainly for shipping purposes. I'm not going to ship them. I don't need those screws. It's locked in place. I can push. And I can push, but it ain't going nowhere. Another nice little feature. Aside from the motherboard screws, which is kind of a curse for everybody, right now it has been toolless. I can use screws for the opticals, but I don't want to. I'm not moving anytime soon, hopefully. Now we have the RAM next, and I messed up a little bit. The fan is going to interfere a little bit with the RAM, so just put it aside for now. We would put the RAM in the blue slots first, but since we have 4, it doesn't matter where they go, and these are all the same. They came in the same set. You may have 4, they may have come in different sets. You keep the matching ones together. If these 2 come from a specific date and lot code, they have the same model number and everything. Since these 2 have different ones, I'll put it in the 2nd and the 4th slot. So just keep them together. Again, they're the same. Now what I do to put this in is weigh it down on the bottom. It's in, so now just push it in lightly to the bottom first so that it snaps in here, and then push it in right here on the top. Rinse, wash, and repeat. So we'll do it again. RAM's in, super simple. Don't ever take your computer to Best Buy for a RAM upgrade. That takes no time. All you got to do is match up your RAM, make sure it matches with the motherboard, or if you bought a pre-built computer, if it matches with the model number, entire system. I don't think I'll need to take that off again. Plug in the hard drives. I just squeeze on these guys, take it out. Right here is where the screw holes would go on the hard drive. So for this case, see how I'm matching that up? And it matches up here. And, of course, it matches up here. There you go. Don't try that at home. Alright, so now I just slide it in. Good. Repeat it. Now they chose to put the SATA data port and the power port in the back. You have better cable management. You can hide the power cable. You can hide the SATA data cable. They put a lot of thought into this. I'm loving it so far. So right now we have the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, the heatsink, optical, both opticals, and 3 hard drives installed. I have not needed a screwdriver aside from the motherboard, which that's awesome again. Let's go ahead and install the SSD real quick. While it does have a screw right over here, there's no reason for you to have to unscrew that. It's there just for precaution, I guess. I can just slide this guy in. That's it. I've just installed the SSD. And again, I was mentioning about the back plate. Here is the back of the CPU heatsink. You can see how I plugged it in here. A liquid cooling unit or anything like that, you can put the back plate afterwards so you don't have to worry about it. Awesome feature. And you'll notice over here more screw holes for the opticals if you wanted to use it. I am, from what I think, done with the front of the computer. So I will go ahead and put this back on. Alright, so right now we are installing the power supply. Alright, I'm putting it just like this. I don't want anything to fall inside the power supply and fry it. And the back of the case allows you to put it in whatever direction you feel comfortable with. So they kind of have it notched out any way you please. Let me show you. So you see here, if I flip this guy around, The screw hole would be right here. So any way you flip it, it's got a space for it. This guy would be up here. They're content any way you want to put it. For this one, we're going to need to move the camera a little bit because I need to have this close to me. You will have to use your screwdriver to screw the power supply in. And like the motherboard, I'm not going to want to screw this in amazingly tight. It's not going to crack anything, but you don't want to strip a screw either. And since we're here, might as well install the video cards. You don't need a screwdriver for these actually. Oops. Careful with that. You can do it with your hands. No, you can't. They're pretty tight. But you can at least put them back in with your hands.